Hello everybody, James here. Bit of a first for the channel today. Doing a wagon review. So here we go. This here is the Bachmann Southern Rail pillbox brake van in BR Departmental olive green. They've given it their coding, what's on the end here, of 38404 if you want to get one yourself. So let's open it up, shall we, and give a little look. What I do is to open your boxes and prevent any damage at all. The top tip, I use a 6-inch rule and just simply put it down the end of the box like that. Little flick, and it opens up without doing any damage to the packaging at all. A lot of people I know have got torn boxes and dog-eared bits where they're trying to open it with their fingers. So we'll move the box out of the way. As always, very well packaged, and then you can see on top of the packaging here, a bit of a detailing pack, some brake hangers and bits in there, which obviously you fit yourself once you've got the van opened up. So we'll remove all the plastic outer casing and this tissue paper, and there it is. I'll quickly just put it into position so we can do this without my fingers getting in the way. There we are. So this here is basically what would someone say the iconic Southern Railways 25-ton pillbox brake van. Obviously all trains once upon a time used to have a goods van or a brake van at the rear of the train. Obviously they're no longer required anymore because all trains now have vacuum and air braking throughout all their wagons and don't require a van at the back. Obviously many of these vans were actually originally fitted with sanding gear operated by a lever inside the box itself. The sand was actually contained in boxes on the end of the verandas just here. As you can see, they've not been shown on this model, so obviously they've been removed by the time this is being represented. Every train, obviously everyone knows, had to carry a red tail lamp at the back, as they do today. This is to indicate, obviously, to signal burner station staff that the train is complete. If the train contained any unfitted wagons, as they were called, the van would also need to display a pair of side lamps, and these would be fitted onto your lamp brackets here and here on either side, and obviously they would show a white light going forward and a red light to the rear. The purpose of these was purely to indicate to the loco crew that if they look back and the train was complete, they could see the white light. Obviously the guard was responsible for making sure that they were all lit and facing the right direction. Your two side lamps and your rear lamp were obviously part of your standard equipment on all these vans. A little look on the top of the van as well. Here we can note that as there was a little chimney there at the back, and that would obviously underneath have a little coal fired stove, keep the guard warm, allow him to warm up his cup of tea or anything like that whilst they're on their journey. Also have a little coal box in there to keep some spare lumps of coal and keep him warm. So as you can see, there it is. This van itself, actually, this designer van was developed by the SECR, and the SECR pattern underframe was first fitted with the narrow body with a lookout ducket positioned to the left of the cabin, obviously the left wing of here. This is actually the Southern Rail diagram of 1578. They only made 80 of those, and the design was then changed with a lot of alterations to the underframe, and the duckets were then placed on the right hand side of the cabin under their new diagram of 1579, which is what we've got here. So further vehicles were then built afterwards and to the same diagram. In later examples obviously had the regular body side planking substituted by pairs of narrow planks. I'm going to zoom it in now because you can actually clearly see that is exactly what Bachmann have done with this model here. This is sort of the last of the breed, if you will. As you can see, you've got the narrow planks in there being used on the actual body side. I mean, many of these vans did pass into British Railways ownership in 1948, and they gained an S prefix with the number. I mean, the sanding gear on these vans was all removed about 1950, and obviously with the demise of freight traffic around the network, a lot of older stock and wooden framed vehicles were taken out of use and put into departmental service. The ones that did pass over moved into departmental about 1960-64, and they were given a DS prefix, which is again what we can see on this van just here if I zoom right in there. As you can see with Bachmann, they've done a fantastic job of the printing. Everything is easy to see, it's nicely and crisply done, and it's fully legible as well. When you get down close enough under a microscope, you can really see all the letters and numbers in there. One thing I had to sort of note here is the thing I've not been able to fully check myself, so maybe one person will be able to help me out in the comments, is at the end of their life, these vans, they had their end windows altered, which I'm going to show you now. So I don't know if Bachmann have actually done this to the latest style or the early style of window configuration, so if anyone could tell me, I'd be interested to know. But as you can see, they've flush glazed all the windows, including the ones in the little ducats. They've done a wonderful job of it. It's very well detailed. All the handrails are separately fitted and are metal. A little bit of strength, so no chance of damaging them while handling the model. It's well proportioned, and you know, the attention to the paint finish and the detailing all over is of the very high standard expected by Bachmann today. Obviously the model comes with the standard NEM pockets underneath, so you can change the tension lock coupler that comes with supplied for maybe a caddy or any sort of knuckle coupling that other people use. But have a little look at the underframe, you can see where the detailing pack would be fitted if you so desire, and obviously no sanders under there. Let's quickly put her back down a minute. Just get back to this detail just here, because as you can see, this van is carrying a ZTP tops code. Zoom right in there, there we are, like that. Now that obviously does denote that the van has passed into departmental use, as it says on the end of the box. You also see on the left of the picture there, the wagon build plate is represented. It is actually on the side of the van there. It's not sort of flush and just printed, it actually is a moulded plate with all its information on. I'm hoping you can pick up the information upon it there if I just zoom in a little bit more, like that. There we go. If you can't quite read that, I shall put the information in the description. But there we go. Obviously, if you want to know any more information about this sort of van, there's plenty of sources. Recommendation is actually to look up a book called The Illustrated History of Southern Wagons Volume 4. And that was actually produced by Bixley, Blackburn and Chorley and King, and published by the Oxford Publishing Company in 2002. And if anyone wants to get a copy of that book, I shall also post the ISBN number for that, so you can look it up in the description as well. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this little video and I've not bored you all too much. Just to sort of sum it up, this is a wonderful little model of a popular van, and I'm expecting to see a lot of these on layouts all around the country over the next few weeks and years, because it's a very nicely produced little item there, and you know, would look good on any number of trains. The only thing to note for time period obviously would be to do with your tops code, the DS, and the fact that if we look on the ends, it hasn't been vacuum or air fitted. So if you wanted to run it sort of more recently, sort of later in their life, you might have to add those yourself later, but I'd just check that information to be completely true before doing that, because I could be wrong, you never know, it has happened before. But there we go, hopefully you've enjoyed that, and if anything you'd like to know or anything you'd like to add, just please feel free to comment and subscribe. Thanks for watching, bye now.